75 dungeons, 2,000 tests, 3 months of waiting. The #1 dungeon in WoW is... Coming in just a second, because first I have an announcement. The channel is expanding and I need your help. Now, I start off every video with "This is Reckles with WTBGold" because I'm just one of the guide makers on this channel. Now, right now, I'm the only guide maker on the channel, but I want that to change. So these videos take a lot of time to make, and I just don't have enough time to also become an expert on PvP and raiding and mount collecting, let alone classic or any other games out there. So if you are an expert on something other than gold making, I want to hear from you. Building a YouTube channel from scratch is a long uphill journey, but I've got 100,000 people almost who want to watch guides on how to be a better gamer. So come join the team, come help them out, and get your name out there while you do it. So decided to get everyone involved, kind of do this as a reality show style. We're gonna do this as a contest. So here's what I need from you. Send me a 2-minute guide on something in WoW you're an expert on, preferably other than gold making. Start off the guide with "This is blank with WTBGold," and then publish it unlisted. Then go ahead and email me a link to that unlisted video with the title "Video Contest Submission." The deadline for submissions is going to be April 30th. We're gonna watch and pick the best ones from each category live on Twitch, so go ahead and follow me over there. And then I'll go ahead and put a video out with the best ones from each category here on YouTube with a poll, kind of something like this, so y'all can vote on the best ones. Now, I get the final say on who joins the team, but the top 2 winners from the popular vote will get some awesome banners that my Twitch mod Smar made. Let me go show them. These are Horde and Alliance hand-crocheted banners using something called Tunisian crochet, and I love that they're a little bit different. Like the Alliance banner is, it takes itself a little too seriously, and the Horde banner is you know, simple and plain, and she captured the 2 factions really well. If you want to buy those banners and you don't want to compete, I will put a link to her Etsy page down below, and you can pick one up there. Now, I'm just expanding into other aspects of WoW right now, but if you're an expert on other games, I am looking to do that eventually, so go ahead and just send me an email and let me know. Just kind of touch base. So thank you to all the fans out there. My goal from the channel since the beginning has been to be the one-stop shop for just game guides, to be, you know, the BuzzFeed of video game information. I'm absolutely terrified of this first step, but I'm really excited to begin the journey. So thank you to everyone who supported me up to this point, especially all the Patreon supporters for the financial help making this a reality. Y'all are amazing. Okay, on with the guide. All right, the most valuable dungeon in the game is...
Raz Smash!
Blackrock Caverns. I hinted at this back in the first video. That's weird. I was sitting on a rock that someone shittily painted black. But back then, everyone thought TRANSMOG was just for vanilla dungeons, so everyone guessed BRD. You fell for my trap. Okay, so the value of these runs is just absurd. After 50 dungeon runs, the average lap was 51,000 gold. Not 51,000 gold for 10 laps, that's per 3-minute run. Like, I'm worried that you're just sitting watching and thinking like, oh, cool, that's a lot of gold. No. This is so much higher than anything else we've ever seen. Here, I'll give you some perspective on it. So, Sholamance, the hip new farm, all the cool kids are running it, 39,500 gold per 10 laps. Oldemon, quintessential transmog farm, everyone runs it. It's 84,200 for 10 laps. Zul'Farrak, one of my contributions to the gold making community, helped put the channel on the map, 136,400 for 10 laps. 10 laps of Blackrock Caverns is 514,000 gold. The route itself is kind of a cool combination of everything we've learned in the Transmog Top 10 up to this point. So, like Mana Tombs, it's a really long route with a mix of onesie-twosie killing with some nice big groups. So you want to do a mix of killing and looting as you go in order to keep your Bear Tartar buff up, with some pre-grouping in order to get those nice big efficient piles. Like Hellfire Ramparts, the casters in the first half of the dungeon will evade if you try to drag them all the way to the end. So we're gonna do the first big kill pile right in that first boss room so we don't lose out on those guys. And like Skyreach, actually there's not very many opportunities for bird puns here. So then there's some efficiency tweaks. Our sweet, sweet friend Raz the Crazed, he kills a whole bunch of the enemies in this dungeon, and when he kills something, you can't loot them. But if you beat Raz to the punch, if you're Speedy Gonzalez and you kill those first two Evolved Monstrosities first, then they do drop loot, and that just increases your efficiency, your enemies killed per minute. Now, Corla, the second boss, isn't too far out of the way, but she does take a little bit of time to run to. So, like Halls of Stone, we're just going to skip her. Right after that first tunnel, take a right, go up the stairs, kill that first pack there, taunt one of the Evolved Monstrosities, and then jump down over the railing. And then we've talked about seconds per enemy before, which is a measure of density where you imagine all the enemies in a dungeon in a straight line, evenly spaced out. And the third boss room is a really cool, it's a literal example of that, where there's a whole bunch of trogs on the perimeter in a perfect circle. So, you know, even though it feels kind of bad to just run around in a circle, there's literally just 4 enemies every 2 seconds, and that's really, really good density. And you know what? That's kind of the story with this dungeon. It's really, really good density, 26 enemies killed per minute, but it's not, there aren't any huge crazy packs. There's just a lot of packs of 2 to 4 spaced pretty close together. Okay, so a couple dungeon tips before we talk about pricing. The raw gold here is decent, about 3,000 every 10 laps, but vendoring the greens actually only adds about 1,000 gold to that. So make sure that you disenchant any greens that you aren't going to try to sell on the auction house by themselves. The armor is worth about 40 gold each in hypnotic dust, and the weapons are worth a little less because you get essences from those. This is a Cata dungeon, so Potion of Treasure Finding works here, but you only get about 1 tiny treasure box per lap. So if they're expensive, don't bother. If you get them for cheap, go for it. Whatever. Now, if you didn't play this when it was current and you're having trouble with Karsh Steelbender, he takes like 99% reduced damage, so just drag him through the fire in the center of the room, and that'll melt off his armor buff. But do not drag the enemies right before the last boss. There's some casters in there that put a debuff that deals % health damage per second whenever you move, and it stacks, so you can kill yourself hilariously here. Hilariously for anyone watching. Honestly, though, I love any, like, avoidable mechanics that can still kill you even when you insanely outgear a dungeon. I love those things. Now, I skipped the Core Hound boss, but, you know, whatever, do what you want. It's more vendor loot. Now, for the last boss, there are 7 or 8 ads that, once again, Raz comes up and kills. If he kills them, you can't loot them. But if you hustle over to him, then you can either swipe them down or you can just moonfire them all. Now, you will yourself if you moonfire in cat form, so just use Tiger's Fury, and that'll refill you and take care of you so you can knock them all out. And then the last thing, now that Dreamwalk has no cooldown, it is faster to just Dreamwalk out and back in. It takes about 30 seconds. If you aren't running this on a monk or a druid, then there's a portal back to the entrance in Karsh Steelbender's room, the thing with all the trogs. But that's the route. So let's talk about prices. They're high. In fact, as we found in the testing, they are the highest in the entire video game. Like, every item is 5,000 to 50,000 gold, and that's just awkwardly high, even under the paradigm of, like, inflated transmog prices that we talked about in the Iron Docks video. So I'll talk about whether or not they sell in the final video of the series, but for now, I need your help on something. So this isn't actually the first time this is the best dungeon to farm. Back in Mist of Pandaria, it was also King of the Hill, but not for Transmog back then, for a market called Cata Green. Now, Jim from WTBGold did an awesome guide explaining this market, and I'll link that down below. But essentially, if you were level 79 and transitioning from Wrath dungeons into Cata dungeons, you needed a really high minimum eye level in order to just queue. Wrath gear had a really low eye level, had like 80 strength and 100 stamina on each piece, but Cata greens that were also level 79 had like 100 higher eye level on it and 280 strength and 300 stamina. Just this massive increase in stats and eye level. So people weren't buying these for transmog, they were buying them because they were upgrades. And anyone who's ever sold any twink gear or current content BOEs will be able to tell you, people pay stupidly high prices for upgrades. Well, they nerfed this. Essentially, in, I think, the Siege of Orgrimmar patch, they buffed the Wrath of the Lich King gear and they lowered the minimum eye level requirement. Essentially, it killed this market, and I've gone back to the dungeon to test it a couple times a year, just in case, and it's never really recovered since then until now. So, I'm going to end this video with a question for you guys. Any tunes that I've leveled recently, I've just used WoW tokens to boost them for free. So I haven't gone through the leveling experience, and I need to know, after the rescaling and dungeon rework of patches 7.3.5 and patch 8.0, is this market viable again? For those of you who have leveled a tune recently, is there a gap in power or minimum eye level requirements heading into Cata dungeons? Let me know down in the comments, and then we'll know whether or not this is a transmog market or an upgrade market, and we'll also know whether we need to look at selling specific affixes of the gear at higher prices than others. So even if you aren't into transmog, even if you're not going to go out and farm this dungeon, hopefully you can take away from this video the fundamental, foundational gold making idea of positioning yourself to profit from lazy people who still want to improve in the game. You know, whatever improvement means for them. No matter what your gold making method is, that's the goal. So, that's it. That's all the dungeons. We did it. We made it to the end, but not quite the end, because the next video, I'm going to be going over the actual sell rates of all the transmog that I farmed up to this point. I got about 4,000 pieces that I've been reposting daily for the past 3 months since we started this series, and I'm finally able to go through and do some number crunching on all of that data. I am so sick of reposting all those every day. It's been a lot of time, but I'm really excited to share the results with you so we can answer some questions that people have had in the gold making community for a long time. So subscribe for future videos, ring the little bell so you get notified when I do that last guide. And other than that, I'm just really excited about growing the channel, expanding, seeing your contest submissions, so send those out. Otherwise, have a great day, guys. Good luck and happy gold making. One more video left in the series where we're gonna go over the sell rates for all the I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no.